Darcy kept his word and appeared at the manor at breakfast time. Jane Bingley welcomed him warmly, as though he was an old friend. Perhaps that was just her way, to act as though naught had occurred, but he could not say he was not relieved. Elizabeth's smile on seeing him was radiant, and he returned it most readily. Margaret Bingley was brought in by her nurse and seated to her mother's right in a chair designed to bring the child to the level of the table. After helping themselves at the sideboard, Elizabeth sat to Mrs. Bingley's left, and Darcy placed himself at hers.
"Hi, Darcy, Dumberhead,"
said the little girl with a smile and a wave. "Margaret," said Mrs. Bingley in a firm voice, drawing the child's attention, "it is not polite to insult a guest. You must address him as Mr. Darcy."
"Dumberhead, not nice?"
"No, it is not nice. Please apologize to Mr. Darcy." Her expression changing to one of great sadness, Margaret Bingley looked to him and said,
"I'm sorry, Mr. Darcy."
He smiled at her. "It is quite all right, Miss Bingley. You did not know it was an impolite word. Now that your mamma has told you, you will know better." After a few moments' contemplation, Darcy decided to reveal to his hostess that he had met her husband. Explaining it was some years before they had married, he told her how much he had been impressed by Charles Bingley in that brief meeting. "Miss Bingley has her father's eyes, as well as his hair," he added with a smile in Margaret's direction. To Jane, he added, "But I dare say she will have her mother's smile and beauty." Mrs. Bingley's eyes shone with unshed tears. She lifted her napkin to absorb them, lest they fall. "Thank you so very much for those kind words, Mr. Darcy. It has been a most difficult year since my husband's passing. He was so very young." "Indeed he was, and I offer my sincerest condolences for your loss," Darcy replied. Mrs. Bingley looked to her daughter, who was then being helped to eat by the nursemaid. "I take comfort, sir, in having borne his child. In Margaret I will always have a part of Charles with me." She cleared her throat then, and took a sip of her drink, then said, "Elizabeth tells me that she has suggested you attempt to re-enter society." Darcy glanced at Elizabeth to find her smiling at him. "Miss Bennet believes it to be a good idea, yes. Colonel Fitzwilliam suggested the scheme also when he was here a fortnight past." His last words surprised both ladies. "I happen to agree with them," said Mrs. Bingley. "It may do nothing to the restoration of your fortune, sir, but the restoration of your reputation can only be of benefit to you and my sister." "Then I shall make the attempt, so long as it benefits her," Darcy replied. "For myself, I truly do not care any more. I have lived my life both at the top and at the bottom of the societal hierarchy, and, in truth, I have found more integrity and honor among the lower ranks than I ever did among those at the highest." He looked to Elizabeth again. "However, as Miss Bennet believes it worthwhile, I shall endeavour to please her." "I think it will please my father also," said Elizabeth. "While he may not care much for the snobbery of the higher circles, that you are willing to attempt restoring your reputation in society can only earn you his favour." "I should meet with Sir Thomas. It is only proper that I ask his permission to court you," said Darcy, "though I haven't a clue as yet how I am to do so on so small an income as mine." "Just be here. Just be you," said Elizabeth. "You have only to do everything you would have done had you still that vast fortune of old, except perhaps throwing a lavish ball, though I should miss having the chance to dance with you."